Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. It's me, Jay, with your transfer update. First of all, before everyone asks, Adam will be back soon. Everyone always comments, where's Adam, where's Adam? He'll be doing the transfer daily soon. I'm just covering for him. You'll have Howson at the end of the week, then Adam will be back next week. The latest news, of course, the big news today is, as we all knew, Daniel James has finally signed. He's put pen to paper, he's signed. That's a move that we all knew was done. We all knew he completed his medical, we all knew terms agreed. It's been announced now. The club have released a video. He's obviously buzzing, and it's great to see. It's great to see a young, talented player who's happy to be at United. He just looks over the moon that he's at United. And from what we know, he's an exciting player. He's a fast player. He's a winger, old school type winger. Ryan Giggs raves about him, so we knew that deal was happening. We knew it was done. And it makes sense all round. We've discussed it time and time again, so we don't need to keep going into that one. We'll say that we're glad he's signed, we're glad he's happy, and hopefully he'll have a long and illustrious career at Manchester United. The other big news today is Romelu Lukaku. Now, speaking after the recent Belgium game, Lukaku has made some comments that seem to indicate he's on his way out of Old Trafford. He said that he's going to speak to his agent. He's going to go and enjoy his holiday. And you can probably see the quote on the screen there, that he's going to have a busy summer. Yes, he's going to go and speak to his agent and make the best decision. Now, it sounds to me like he's going to go. He looks like he's going to go to Inter Milan. We know that Conte is a big fan of his. He's apparently a big fan of Antonio Conte. So that deal makes sense. Now, I'm actually sad to see Lukaku leave. I know a lot of people have been slagging him off. We've seen all the memes. We've seen the ones where, you know, his touch lets him down and all the rest of it. People adding Benny Hill music to his touches and when he loses the ball and all the rest of it. But it just never quite worked out for Romelu Lukaku. It hasn't quite got going for him. And it's a bit of a shame because despite his critics, he is a player that is talented. He scores goals. And when he first came to the club, those first couple of months, he really hit the ground running. And I thought, we've got a player here, because I was a little bit sceptical before we bought him of getting him. I didn't know if he would quite fit the mould of what we were looking for. But he came in, I think he scored around 10 goals in his first 10 games, roughly around that figure. And then he started to go off the boil a little bit, and he never quite got going again. He seemed to score in fits and starts. And I think he finished his first season with 27 goals in all competitions, which isn't bad at all. It's a good return. And I think that would have been a solid base if he was going to kick on. But the following season just didn't get going at all. And he had a little spell under Ollie. When Ollie came in, at first it looked as though Lukaku wasn't going to get a chance because it was Lingard, Martial and Rashford who were the preferred front three. And then Lukaku came in and he scored some important goals. He scored, I think it was away at Palace, he scored away as well at PSG, which was the big goals that everyone talks about. And it seemed like he'd sort of turned a corner and that he was going to kick on. And then he was shifted out wide, then he was dropped. And he never sort of got back to that goal-scoring form. And he's never quite looked happy at United. He's always looked like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. He looks like someone who's constantly trying to prove himself. There's talks of him, there's been rumours of him and Paul Pogba not always getting along. I don't know how true that is because they were mates. So I just think a move would be good for everyone. I think it'd be good for United because the figure being touted is around 75 million quid, which is roughly what we paid for him. So to get our money back for him would be good. And I think it'd be a good move for him because, as I said, he's never quite got going at Old Trafford. And I think moving to somewhere like Inter Milan and becoming their main striker could be a good move all round. We'll wait and see how that develops. 75 million quid is a lot of money. But if he does go, I think the important thing is we do replace him because, yes, you can say Marcus Rashford can play down the middle. Mason Greenwood's coming through. We don't know what's happening with Alexis Sanchez. Is he going to go? Is he someone you can use down the middle? I'm not sure. But I still think if we're going to let Romelu Lukaku go, especially for big money, we need to bring someone in. We need to bring another striker in. There was talk of Icardi. I don't think that's got any legs. I don't think that's going to happen. Whether we see someone like a Gareth Bale, I don't know. I've spoken about Bale a few times. There's talk of Felix. He might be coming. He's been linked with us, I should say, rather than he might be coming in. Apparently Manchester City are in for him. So I don't know if that one's going to happen. I don't know if that's got any legs. But it does worry me slightly that we will be letting Lukaku go and we won't replace him because we haven't been linked with that many strikers. And I just think there is a sort of a feeling that Lukaku would go and then we'd have to rely on Rashford, Martial, possibly Sanchez and Greenwood, who, you know, I rave about Rashford. I think he's got another level he can go up to, and I think people forget how young he is. But I still think we need another option other than just Martial and Rashford and the others I've spoken about. So I think if Lukaku goes in, I would like to see someone else. If Lukaku goes out, I would like to see someone else come in. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. We'll have to see. Another move that's been spoken about quite a lot recently is Harry Maguire. He's apparently a target for United. We were talking about that yesterday on the on the live update. We've been speaking about it today on the podcast as well. Figures of around 60, 70 million being spoken about for Harry Maguire. We'll wait and see what happens with that one. Harry Maguire, experienced Premier League defender, talented, someone who can lead at the back, someone who can be a leader, someone who also can carry the ball out of defence. We need someone who can do that. I think that's been one of our problems as well, is we've had to see our midfielders dropping deeper and deeper because no one's been able to carry it out of the back. And there's talk that that someone like Harry Maguire could come in, and if he does, he would be the player. He's the sort of defender who would comfortably be able to carry the ball forward. We've seen him do it for Leicester. We've seen it do it for England. We've seen him do it against the top teams. We've seen him do it against Manchester City. We've seen him do it against Liverpool. If he can do it against those two, he can do it against anyone. So he could be a player that fits in nicely, and he can help change the dynamics of the team a little bit. So instead of the goalkeeper there having to sort of either go long or look for a deep midfielder, he can give it to Maguire, who can move it forward. Another player he might be able to give it to is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, we've been discussing Aaron Wan-Bissaka on this channel for months. The latest stories are that United put in a £50 million bid that was rejected. I think it was £40 million that was rejected, and now there's talk of him upping the bid to £50 million. I think the Mail last night was running a story that Aaron Wan-Bissaka has said he wants to go. He hasn't put in an official transfer request at Crystal Palace, but he has told Crystal Palace that he wants to leave, that he's got his heart set on a move to Old Trafford. Fantastic signing if we can get him done. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka would change United so much. I think that we all know the problems that Ashley Young has had at right back, and I think he's faced a lot of criticism, some of it a little bit harsh. It's not his fault. He's a 33-year-old winger playing at right back. We know Diogo Dalot is a talented youngster who can play either right back or left back or on the wing. I just feel with Dalot, perhaps he's not as solid defensively as what we need. And maybe in a couple of years' time or a year's time he'll be there. But right now we need a player who can come in at right back and do a very good job. And if you look at Wan-Bissaka's stats, he's basically the best defensive right back in the league. I think he's only sort of the only area where some people have better stats, where Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example, is sort of an improvement on that. He's going forward, but that's as well because Liverpool play a game where the fullbacks get forward a lot more. Crystal Palace don't play like that. They play where the fullbacks have to be more defensive because you've got people like Townsend and Zaha who are just going forward and aren't really dropping back. So Bissaka under Hodgson has to sit back a lot more, and he does that very well. He's tackling, his clearances, his interceptions are very, very high indeed, and that always fills me with a lot of belief in a player when he can read the game, when he's not just throwing himself into tackles and last-ditch attempts to clear the ball or whatever, where he's actually been able to read it and intercept the danger almost before it gets started. That's a real good sign, and I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is someone that would come in and improve United a lot. He's a player that obviously is on United's radar. Now the only question is, are United going to match Crystal Palace's valuation? Crystal Palace apparently wants 60 million. United, we're hearing, are prepared to go up to around 50 million. It looks like the feeling around that is a deal could be made, that the player wants to come, United want him. Crystal Palace sort of resigns to the fact he may have to leave, they may have to sell him, and United could be the best option. So he's a player that is most likely to come to United as the next signing, but it's not a done deal yet, so we'll wait and see how that one develops. Another player who could be going the other way is Matteo Darmian, talking of right backs. Now, Darmian, again, he's been someone who's been criticised. He's been someone who has almost became the forgotten man. More than on one occasion, he became the forgotten man under Jose and became the forgotten man under Ole until he brought him back in, I think, for the derby, which was a bit of a strange one. Darmian has had some good games for Manchester United. People forget that. I think he played in the Europa League final. And he's highly rated in Italy, and there's a few Italian clubs that have been looking at him, so we're led to believe. And he's also been looked at by Valencia. Apparently, Spanish outfit Valencia are interested in him as well. I think this is a move that's going to happen. Everyone thought Darmian was going to go in last summer. He didn't, and you have to wonder: he's an Italian international, or he's a player that's highly regarded in Italy. Is he just going to sit on United's bench or not get in the team again? Especially if we bring in Wan-Bissaka. I don't think he will. I don't think he will at all. I think he's someone that will move on. And despite his critics, I wish him well. He came in, didn't quite work out for it. When he did come in, he did his best, and he wasn't a player that I thought was dreadful in the United shirt. I thought he did have some good games. I just don't think he quite got to grips with the Premier League. Just having a look at some of the comments here. Someone's mentioned N'Golo Kante. He's someone that keeps getting mentioned. Don't see it happening. Chelsea have had a transfer ban even. They've sold Eden Hazard. Are they going to let N'Golo Kante go? Not at all. Someone else is saying Rashford is good enough to take the permanent number 9 spot. I think Marcus Rashford can be an outstanding striker. I think people forget about his age. People forget what he's already achieved in the game. And people forget as well, under Ole, he was playing with injuries for a long time. He picked up a knock. I think he picked up a knock against... he was injured almost for the PSG game. Picked up a knock against Liverpool. He picked up a knock against City and against Chelsea. And yet he kept getting thrown back in. We were so reliant on... Marcus Rashford. We became over-reliant on him the way we wanted to play under Ole, and I think that affected Ole's decision in playing him too often, and I think that Rashford wasn't always fit, and I think that affected his goals, and you could see it, he stopped scoring towards the back end of the season, and I think it would crack us to sort of discard him yet or think, oh, he's not good enough. There's another level that Marcus Rashford can reach, and I'm hoping that next season we'll see it. He divides opinion as well. Because some people are saying Rashford can do a job at number 9, other people are saying he's not good enough to lead the line. People criticising his free kicks as well. Greenwood, someone saying Mason Greenwood's one for the future. Big fan of Mason Greenwood. We saw him start against Cardiff last game of the season. Thought he was our best player in the Cardiff game. No, that's not saying much because it was a pretty poor game. But that tells you something about a teenager, an 18-year-old coming into the side and looking like he belongs. Anyone who's watched the academy side will know that Mason Greenwood has been banging goals in for fun. His numbers are ridiculous, and he's a player who the fans will love. He's exciting, he's quick, scores goals, he's strong as well, tough lad. Definitely someone who I think could do a job for Manchester United. Is next season going to be that? He might get a chance because of the Europa League. He might get a chance in the Cups, Europa League Cup. I feel it might be 1 or 2 seasons away for Mason Greenwood. I don't think he's going to be like... Marcus Rashford came into the side very young. I think he was 18. And then he was almost in and around it every week. I don't think that's going to happen with Mason Greenwood. I think we might have to wait a little while longer. But don't count him out next season because Ollie, who we're hearing, has been told he may have to look towards the youth team because he's not going to get all the targets he wants. He may look at Mason Greenwood. Someone's saying Maguire or Koulibaly. Take your pick. I'd have either of them. To be honest with you, it looks as though Maguire is more likely to come than Koulibaly. Koulibaly, we were linked with him quite a lot over the last few months. That seems to have gone cold. Maguire seems to have gone hot again, so it's more than likely we're going to have Harry Maguire if we have either of those two. And if we get Maguire and if we get Wan-Bissaka, maybe a midfielder as well, we're beginning to look all right. Someone's saying Rashford should get loaned out. I don't think we should. We need 2 central midfielders, says Lisa Duke. I think we do need midfielders. I think we certainly need 1 at least. I think we're still crying out for a defensive midfielder. Someone will say Scott McTominay can do a job there. I'm not so sure. I think Fred can do a job. I think McTominay can do a job. And I'm a big fan of Paul Pogba. But I think we need someone else in there as well, especially with Ander Herrera going out. It seems madness to let Ander Herrera go out and not bring in a midfielder. Don't forget as well, in January, let Marouane Fellaini go. Now, people may laugh and say, oh, Fellaini, whatever. But that's 2 midfielders going out, and who are you bringing in? You need to bring someone in. I'm going to wrap up in a minute, guys, because I think I've covered everything that we said we would, the main sort of stories, and I don't just want to keep sort of rehashing old news. I think we all know where we're up to with most of the signings. There's been a little bit of a lull in some of the stories when it comes to the likes of Fernandes, for example, Paul Pogba leaving. That's all gone a bit quiet, so we'll keep you posted if there's any developments on that. As always, appreciate your support on the channel. You guys get involved in the comments. Let us know if you hear anything. You guys are as sort of in tune with it as most of us are here. So if you hear any news, We all want to hear that as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll have more updates as they come in, as and when they do come in. And we'll also be posting, the podcast is up on iTunes. We'll be posting that on the YouTube channel later on today, where you can hear the likes of myself, Abdullah, Gaz Drinkwater and Andy Tate discussing United, discussing Ed Woodward and a director of football, all that jazz. So make sure you tune in for that. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up now and just say thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll have more updates as and when they come.